today?
He's just looking at me there like, hey, hold on. It's Monday's Talking Reds. I'm Craig Hannan. This is Adam Melia. It's your first Talking Reds.
I know.
You excited?
It. I am excited.
It feels like your whole talk career is built up towards like this moment of being on this with me.
That's what it is. I've been paying my dues. I've been working hard. I feel like I've been waiting to get the big finger pointing at me.
Finally, Lizzie's come in and taken the reins off Walshy, and I think Walshy must. What do you think Walshy had against you?
So I didn't realise that it was Walshy that used to book it. Walshy's behind the camera as we speak, and I was saying Lizzie came in and her first order of business was to put me on a video straight away. I don't know who used to book them, but they obviously thought I was an ugly bastard, and it was Walshy.
Make sure you tell us what you think of Adam in the comments. If you think he's
great
shit,
face
tell
for
us.
radio.
He'll not be back. It's up to you. It's Monday's Talking Reds after Liverpool have beaten Fulham by 2-0. It's a routine win. Back to winning ways for the Reds. We're averaging at 2.5 points per game at the moment. We're on track to smash our best ever points total. Now we're only a third of the way through the season, of course, but what a start it's been, Adam. And you know we've talked on this before about worrying too much about Man City, but Steve Greaves said something which I loved at the weekend, where he said Man City can keep beating people 5-0, but they don't get any more points for that.
Exactly. I mean, we can get one more point than them. They could end the season on a plus 1,000 goal difference and we'd still win the league. So.
How many nights consecutively do you think you'd be in town for if that happened?
That would be good. When you talk about your dream league wins, we used to talk about this with Sam, who's an Arsenal fan, because he's got a season video of 1990 when Arsenal won the league, and that was when they won pretty much every game 1-0. They got docked 2 points for a 22-man brawl at Old Trafford, and Tony Adams got sent to prison, and they still won the league. So anything along those lines would be my ideal. But yeah, definitely. I'm quite looking forward to it. I wouldn't mind a winter of gnarly 1-0 wins while City beat everyone 10-0, because it would start to annoy them. I'm sure it must be starting to annoy them. They've been this good, and they have been fantastic. We're still just there. The narrative can't be set of hand the City the title, which I think if we hadn't won yesterday, people in the media would have been handing City the title this morning, and they can't, because we're still just there, being a pain in the arse behind them.
Yeah, definitely. I think we definitely should be excited about this Liverpool team. Very excited. I think I don't know why. I felt so positive after the game because it was another early fixture, and I hate early fixtures. Like 12 o'clock feels that's difficult. 12 o'clock on a Sunday, and I know Jurgen Klopp had said, basically asked everyone not to go out in town on Saturday night, which just like, come on, Jurgen, like you know better than that. So like the atmosphere was flat, but it was always going to be. It's at 12 o'clock, but that's now 4 early games this season and 4 wins. There was a time under Jurgen Klopp where it felt like every time we played an early game, we'd drop points.
Yeah, and he's good at that, Klopp. He's good at sort of ticking off the bogey issues. You know, we've also had a history of losing the first game after international breaks. We've tended to be unlucky. You know, the random fixture computer has given us big aways after international breaks, and this season's been no different. But we've won against Tottenham, and we've conquered that hoodoo a bit as well. So yeah, the early kickoffs thing's good. It did feel like a breakfast kickoff. This one, it was logistical nightmares. You know, I ended up driving and then taking the car home and then going out, because it's just too early for such a long day.
Did you get into bed early on Saturday night?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I followed. Well, take the boss's advice.
Yeah, it was another win. I think there was loads of positives as well within the game, without us ever looking as if we got out of second gear. I know Fulham had a couple of chances. They obviously have the disallowed goal, which 14 seconds later leads to Mo Salah scoring. I think the thing that I loved most about that goal was it was incredibly Mo Salah. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's more difficult than it looks, I think, in terms of it's a great ball by Trent. You see Van Dijk first of all shouting at Alisson to say go quick, and he does that. And Trent, brilliant ball, but he's carrying it for a long time, Salah, and at pace. And and it's just as you think the defender's going to catch up on him that he puts in the bottom corner. It was incredibly Mo Salah goal, the kind that we saw him score last season.
I watched it again this morning, and it's a little bit. There's a bit of a Torres-esque thing to the finish where he takes one extra touch to just as the goalkeeper moves, and then it's the little extra touch before the finish that makes it. It's funny because the whole goal feels totally inevitable that we'll score, but it really isn't. Everybody, all the parts work perfectly, and it's one of the for Fulham. I mean, you're going down when they must really hurt, because they actually. We could be talking about a different story here, because I thought that we weren't great to start with, and that they started. It's a little bit. It's an annoying thing that Liverpool do when we allow a team of almost any level to start to feel like they can play in it against us, and it annoys me a little bit that we are passive. And I understand why we do it. We want teams to come at us, but they came at us, and really, I mean, they could have been 2-0 up, couldn't they?
They should have. Sessegnon should score.
Sessegnon should score. I think he goes for power. To be honest, it's almost a great goal, but he doesn't. And I think from the moment that it's a huge turning point, isn't it? And it must be utterly deflating when you see, they don't know whether it's offside or not. But obviously it's flagged offside, and then we're straight up the other end. It was a great one to be in the ground for, actually. I think probably, if you're watching that on TV, in fact, I'm not sure what the live footage was like on TV, but if they cut away to show you a replay or whatever of the offside,
I don't think they would have had time, to be honest. 14 seconds.
Yeah.
It's Salah's 38th goal for Liverpool, so that's no other players scored more in the Klopp era. So who else impressed you yesterday then? I know Robertson got the man of the match on BT Sport, I think I saw this morning.
I mean, I think me and you, Craig, are similar people in that we're excitable types. So the answer I'm going to give you is Shaqiri.
The little fella.
Little Shaq. All negative thoughts about the early kickoff instantly disappeared as soon as I saw the team, as I was getting out of the car, and I think it's. I don't know. Is this a universal thing? Is everyone as excited as me and Craig about Shaqiri? It seems like everything comes alive when he gets the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more animated just talking about him, and you can see like he's always there and he's always in space. And I think that when you're looking at the whole picture, as soon as he gets the ball, people do start to make runs because they know that he's just that spark. And I thought that. During the first half, he was kind of the only person that I wanted to get the ball, because everything was really a little bit lumpy. So the defence were doing defending, the midfield were doing midfielding, and the attackers were doing attacking. He was the only one who was dynamically making things happen, breaking the lines, being somewhere where you wouldn't expect him to be. I mean, I love Shaqiri.
I don't really feel fulfilled as a Liverpool fan anymore unless I see his name on the team sheet, which is really, really bad. But I think it gets me even more excited for the game, and I was exactly the same. The early kickoff means it's a bit of slog. Feels unfair to say about going to a Liverpool game, but it just felt a little bit. Just difficult to get up for, and it's difficult to get into the pub early and get yourself up and so on. But as soon as I see that little fella's name on the team sheet, I'm just bang up for it. And
I think he turned the clocks forward a couple of hours. Actually, that's what the Shaqiri factor did. It made it at least 3 o'clock for me.
Did. So Jurgen, if you're watching, rather than asking us not to go out on a Saturday night and rather than talking about the atmosphere in the press conference, just play Shaqiri, and me and Adam will sing our little hearts out. I think he definitely adds a new dimension to this attack, and he is that link between the midfield and the strike. Even though I don't think he was really playing as a midfielder in this game, it felt more like a front four. So maybe
it was funny actually, because there was 2 old fellas in front of me that kept saying Shaqiri's too deep. And I was sort of going to say to them, he's playing midfield, he's been picked in midfield, and he wasn't deep. He wasn't too deep. He was just everywhere. I thought.
Too soon for a new Fab Four, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I would be constantly picking him over this winter, and I think the way he pops a little bit like Firmino does in a way, but Firmino's toiling a little bit. He pops up in our half to start things off, and you can see from where he is for the goal. He's there. He's in the back post. He's in the poacher's position, so he's doing a lot.
What a goal as well, by the way.
Yeah,
I'd say that with both Liverpool goals.
Yeah.
Both Liverpool goals, on the surface, you could say, oh no, they should score both of them. But it's actually first of all, the ball by Robertson first time is sublime. Yeah. What a ball it is, and he just catches the whole of the Fulham defence out. You'd almost think Shaqiri was going to end up being offside. You wouldn't have been surprised to see the flag up. That was the first thing I did, was look for that. But the finish is he just places it perfectly. You couldn't ask for it any better.
He watches it so well, and that sort of phase of play is really the only time we can get away with a cross like that. So you can't in open play, you don't really cross from there. It's too deep and it's too easy to defend. But everybody having pushed out, it was the perfect thing to do. With Virgil by the corner flag was odd as well, wasn't it? Giving the ball to Robertson. But yeah, he just watched it all the way onto his foot and put it right in the side.
What I loved about his celebration, we'll stop talking about Shaqiri. We might just start our own YouTube channel where it's just about Shaqiri every Monday. Yeah. But yeah, the last thing about him was I loved his celebration. He was so excited that he almost got 4 celebrations in one. Did you see that? So he does the slide and then he does the thing like that, and then he stands in front of the cop like that and then crosses. It's unreal. I actually put a few pictures of it up on the Anfield Wraps Twitter, so you can go on and see it, and it does look as if it's as if he scored 4 goals. Love the little fella. Keep playing him, Jurgen. Keep playing him. Robertson as well. He was given man of the match on BP. I saw this morning, and I thought he was brilliant. That's 7 clean sheets, 3 assists in the league for him now, and only 4 goals conceded in 11 games. He was excellent again. I know someone said on our post-match podcast that he might be the best footballer on the planet. Now, I feel as if they were excited after the game, but he's certainly the best left back I've seen play for Liverpool. It's hard to pit him up against those that came before our time, really. But it's just
the ones that have come in our time have all been quite bad.
Oh yeah, they've been so bad. Fabregalio is probably my favourite one.
Yeah.
And apart from that,
Fabregalio was never fit. I mean, he was great, but he was never fit.
But and then we got rid of him, and then we re-signed him, and then he still didn't play that often. Yeah.
Isn't he playing footy in the garden?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think he's the best left back in the league. I know Mendy's brilliant, but Robertson, I just love how Klopp has finally done what managers over the past decade and more haven't been able to do, which is just sort that position out. Yeah. And really at the first time asking, really, he looks as if he's just going to be playing for us. If he plays for us for the rest of his career, I'm absolutely delighted about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually just talking about this morning, saying I can't really see him. I don't know where I can't see him leaving. And he's has he signed a new contract? He's in talks, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think that there's the narrative at the minute is that it's imminent that he's going to sign a new 5-year deal, and I just do see him being there. And as soon as he arrived, it was like, well, that's it. We've boxed that position off. He's quite it's interesting comparing him to Mendy, because Mendy's like an incredible athlete and an incredible footballer, and it's mad to think that they play in the same position in a way. Yeah. There's something quite old-fashioned about him. And also it's interesting to compare him to Trent, who I thought is struggling at the moment, and Robertson compared to Trent just keeps things really simple. And I think I was asking Trent to do a bit of that yesterday when he started. He just a few bad things happened all at once, and he was trying, and he started trying incredible crossfield balls that kind of didn't come off as well. And you don't really get that from Robertson. You just sort of get him. He tries to play those little triangles with on that left. I think the left actually is more helpful to Robertson than the right is to Trent. I don't think Trent gets that much help sometimes from Salah as Robertson does. But yeah, I wasn't surprised. I was really pleased to learn that he'd got the man of the match award. I think they don't normally give it to defenders, but he's also just a really great fella, isn't he?
Yeah,
and I love the fact that Klopp makes that a priority in terms of making signings. He wants good people, and Robertson's just good people. I'm not, you can see by the fact that he's been made captain of his country. he's just obviously somebody that people want to be around. And I don't watch too many player videos and things like that, but I do watch the ones with Robertson in, because I just think he's nice. You just feel like you're his mate, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like the Anfield Rap interviewed him in the summer in America. When we were sat talking to him sort of before and afterwards, when you feel as if, when you're near a footballer and you feel the aura of them being a footballer. So I think someone like Daniel Sturridge has that about him, and Van Dijk, and these kind of players, you can just tell they're a footballer. You can just feel it. But with Andy Robertson, he's just like, he feels like he's just that lad that you used to play Kirby with in your estate as a kid. Do you know that kind of? There's just nothing. Nothing flash about him. Just this normal, down to earth, level-headed kid, because he's still young as well. Walsey's going to take the piss out of my age for calling him a kid here, because he's younger than me, but we've got loads of years to look forward to with Andy Robertson in this team. So brilliant. If you want more on the Fulham game at the weekend, we did the post-match podcast, which is on Tall Player. You're going to see a little clip of it now. Just subscribe to theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe to Tall Player to watch that. But here's the first 2 minutes of that.
Once the ever's inside you, nothing will ever be the same again. Hated, adored, never ignored. It is the pink. I've got Uber Butler, I've got Paul Senior, and I've got Steve Graves. And Steve Graves, our left back is the best footballer on the planet right now.
It might genuinely be the case. It was a terrific performance from him. From a number of players, I thought it was, for what looked like a routine well, I thought there were some really encouraging individual performances in there. Robertson absolutely chief among them. Fulham got narrower as they got scareder, and we exploited that really, really well, particularly down the left. But I think it was a good game for Alexander-Arnold as well to get under his belt.
Paul, it was a nice 2-0, and in an era where nice 2-0s have almost become, no one's quite sure about them, we've got to not worry about this stuff. We've just got to say today, you know what, I thought first half it was maybe a bit too sideways, they weren't taking enough chances, but I thought second half they were much the better side, and when they scored the second, it was as though they decided nothing else was going to happen in this football match until we scored the second.
Yeah, that's really fair. We did a show here only a couple of weeks ago where we won 4-1, and it was much more disappointing today. 2-0, I feel good. It felt like a much better Liverpool performance, much more assured, and one that we needed really to get into the system, not get out of it. That one where Liverpool are, as you say, much the better side, cruising, and at 2-0, sort of foot off the gas, but always in control, and I was really impressed.
It was cruising in a good way, I thought, Uber. You were just sort of waiting for it to turn. You were thinking, well, there might be one more in there, and they were prompting and they were probing, and in the end they actually make Fulham, who were much maligned before kick-off, they make Fulham defend really well for the 2-0, and I think that's the difference to other performances recently. Fulham have to play really well just to get away with the 2-0, and they probably go back into their dressing room and think, you know what, we've done all right.
Yeah, it's hard. You kind of forget about that, don't you, with how much the first half probably took out of them, considering they went 1-0 down, because I thought they played really well, considering how shy I thought they were going into it. But I thought by the end of it, what we were trying to do, we got there. With the 4 across the front, it made more sense, and I thought we played well.
That was our post-match podcast, which was recorded at Anfield immediately after the game. We do that after every single game. Subscribe to Tall Player to get on that. Also out today is the free show. People listen to that without subscribing. They'll be delving into the Fulham game as well. And then the review, which is a more analytical, sort of more in-depth look with Sean Rogers, who's a football coach. Get on those, both on Tall Player today. I'm just going to finish on this because it's nice to hear from him again. I'd almost forgotten about him, but I wonder whether there's an actual month that goes by without me thinking about this man, Fernando Torres, who, I don't think I've ever loved a footballer more than Fernando Torres, but then I also think that's due to the way that he left and he departed, and he broke our hearts pretty much. But it's nice to hear from him again. He's in Japan. Obviously he scored 81 goals in 142 games for the Reds. He now plays for Sagan Tusu. I hope I've said that right. Long-term watchers of this show will know that I usually don't say these things right, but anyway, we are where we are. He said, I'm still in touch with the staff at Liverpool, so I wish them the best. I know how important it is for Liverpool to win the Premier League. Hopefully they can win the Premier League and Chelsea can win it the year after. I mean, I only want half of that to happen, really. But would you take it? Of course you would.
I'll take half of that. Yeah, I don't want Chelsea to win it the year after. Shut up, Torres.
Yeah, I know. I think he's just trying to be fair. He's like every footballer in any interview ever. They're like always on the fence no matter what. So he wants to say that he wants the Reds to win the league, but then he also doesn't want to upset anyone at his old club.
I mean, there's that horrible stat, isn't there? That didn't he play for Chelsea more times than he played for us?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think he did. Which is hideous and not true. Yeah, so I mean, what I quite like about that is it makes me realise again that how kind of what a big thing this is worldwide, because he's playing in Japan, and obviously somebody's asked him a question about Liverpool there. So you know, it's good that what we're doing is being seen from afar, and I think people around the world are rooting for us. Maybe not so much in this country. Well, definitely not in this country.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun of it, isn't it?
Definitely, and I think as well, like someone like Fernando Torres, who hasn't played for Liverpool for years. He was only here for 3.5 seasons, wasn't it? And he obviously goes on to Chelsea to win. Well, he wins the Champions League and he wins the UEFA Cup. Yeah. And does he win the league? I can't remember,
sure,
but he pretty much wins the FA Cup as well. So he pretty much wins everything he can at Chelsea. And something tells me if he'd won those things at Liverpool, it would have felt a lot more special, just because of how he fared in his time at Chelsea. But I miss him. I miss his face. I absolutely love that man.
I know. I was saying last week. I think about it semi-regularly. The charity match that Gerrard did, when he had when Torres and Suarez played together. What could have been FC. And I do quite like the. I like the fact that he realised that we don't hate him, because it
was closure, wasn't it, for both? I think.
Yeah. I never did, and I could never bring myself to hate him. Really, to be honest, I don't like Chelsea at all, and I didn't like him going there. But I couldn't quite. I didn't have it in me to hate him. So I'm quite glad that we don't hate him anymore.
Yeah, I think I tried to tell myself I hated him, but then there was little parts of me that were just happy for him whenever something good would happen to him, even though it was happening with Chelsea.
Did he score against Barcelona?
Yeah, he scores against Barcelona. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about there. Where I'm watching it thinking, fuck's sake, Chelsea, but also I'm a bit happy for you, Fernando, which feels like a really weird thing to say. It's just, considering he tore my heart out by leaving. You should actually give Simon Hughes' book, Ring of Fire, a read. There's a whole chapter in there where he speaks to Fernando Torres about his time at Liverpool and about him leaving. There's like a lovely bit where he talks about him actually leaving Melwood, and as he leaves, Luis Suarez walks in, which is like something that you feel would only be like sort of like a little bit mythical, like it wouldn't actually happen, but it actually did. He actually walks out as Luis Suarez walks in, so it's quite nice. But yeah, that's been today's Talking Reds. Tell us if you thought Adam was any good, and we'll get him back on. Don't tell us if you thought he was shite. That'd be unfair. I thought you did really well.
I realised he was ginger. I hate him now.
That's been today's Talking Reds.